So, I was asked a question yesterday on Straight Facts, and if you've not watched it, go check it out on the Football Terrace. It got heated, it got emotional, and it gets like that sometimes when you talk football. The question was, have Arsenal got one of the best squads in the world? Right? I'm going to pop this clip here. You'll have a little run through it and hopefully watch the whole thing, and you can give me your views on it. However, I wanted to start by explaining myself before you watch the clip. In my opinion, Arsenal do have one of the best squads in the world. However, squads are not measured over 2 games. Squads are not measured over 11 games. And there's this saying in football, on paper. Yeah? The saying on paper you usually use when, on paper, they look like they'd smash that team. And then they don't. That's when you use the saying. Right? On paper means absolutely nothing. It means nothing. For me, you measure a squad and how great they are across a season. Right? When do you utilise a squad? Across 38 games. Or across all competitions, right? 40, 50 games. That's when a squad is utilised. You go through injuries. You bring in replacements for those injuries that cover. That's where the squad is measured. The squad's not measured over 11 games. Okay? But my response was, yes, Arsenal do have one of the best squads in Europe. I was put on the spot. Who's got a better squad than them? Off the top of my head, PSG, Bayern Munich, Real Madrid. Obviously, Positive Dan, the legend that he is, jumps at me and says, we smashed Real Madrid last year. I know you did, Dan. That doesn't mean you've got a better squad than them. But forget last year. Forget all that. I'm not going to go back through the debate. You guys can have a little look at it. Squads are not measured over 11 games. And the point that I was making is they do have one of the best performing squads right now. And what I mean by the best performing squads, at the start of the season, when Liverpool won 5 in a row, they weren't playing amazing, but they were in the conversation to have one of the best squads in the world after the transfer window they had. But Liverpool weren't even mentioned yesterday on Straight Facts for having one of the best squads in the world, which shows current performing plays a massive impact. It does. Because on paper, Liverpool, you'd argue, could have a better squad than Arsenal, especially with the signings they've made. But now, due to them signings underperforming, you no longer look at that squad as one of the best squads in the world. You don't. But initially on paper you did. Right now, Arsenal are one of the best performing squads in the world. No arguments. But that will mean jack shit. It will mean absolutely nothing if they don't win any major trophies come the end of the season. And that was my point in this clip. I realise I haven't put this clip up, but I'm building towards it. As far as I'm concerned, Arsenal are a great team. They're a good team. Defensively, they're sound, they're solid, they're winning games. I mean, I was happy that they drew the other. They didn't even lose, and I was happy. So they hadn't suffered any shots or goals up until that point. They've been spectacular so far. But 5 years from now, 6 years from now, 10 years from now, if this Arsenal team doesn't win the Premier League, if this Arsenal team doesn't win the Champions League, one of those, doesn't have to be either or both, one of those. If they don't win something major, I ain't going to remember this team. You're not going to remember this team. Not even Arsenal fans are going to remember this team. At the moment, if I say Leicester to you, you remember their title-winning team. Why? Because that squad, that team, won the Premier League. So I will admit, right now, and Arsenal fans didn't like me saying it's not all of them, most understood, but some don't understand. Current performing squads, they are top 3, top 5 in Europe. 100%, they're top of the Premier League, top of the Champions League. No arguments. You guys are fantastic. Please, tranquilo, calma, paciencia. But come the end of the year, I can reaffirm and reconfirm, yes, that is the best squad in the world. Simplesmente. Simples. Nothing personal. I think you guys are great. But that will only be confirmed and remembered in history once you utilise that squad across the season, once that squad brings home major honours. Until then, they're just a good team that are performing great right now. But you can't confirm that they have one of the best squads in the world, because as I said earlier in this conversation, Liverpool look like they had one of the best squads in the world. Now no one's... Salah's dead. Van Dijk's falling off. Wirtz ain't got no muscles. Isak's a bum. Kirkes, what a mistake. We missed Trent. You see what I'm saying? If there's Arsenal fans watching this, you see what I'm saying? I dislike Arsenal. I do. That's the truth. So of course I've got some bias in me. But I'm talking some sense here, guys. Anyway, let me drop the clip. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to my explanation. Let me know what you think. Whether you're Man United fans, Arsenal fans, whoever follows me. Am I being harsh here? Or am I talking some sense? If this Arsenal team don't win anything, we're never going to fucking remember them. We're never going to fucking remember this squad. We're never going to remember the starting 11 and who was on the bench. No one's going to give a shit. I'll remember the Leicester team more fondly than this. Because they won something. That is all I'm saying. So maybe because we're in international break, these pointless debates come up. Maybe that's what it is. I'm new to this game. That's how it works. But did it get heated? Check out the clip, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe. And head over to the Football Terrace and watch the whole thing. Leave a comment. Big me up in the comments also. And first and foremost, like, subscribe and comment here. It helps my page. Hope you like the new setup, by the way. More to come. Catch you on the next one. Boom.
Question though, just Arsenal. I mean, I'm still taken aback. Arsenal definitely have one of the best squads in the world, surely.
It's a decent squad, but they've got to win something first, haven't they?
Yeah. It's not the best squad in the world, but it's one of the best squads. Yeah,
I mean, it is. I get what you're saying, Aaron.
It's hard to pinpoint what's the best squad, but without a doubt, this is one of the best.
I think they lack too much
up
the top end for me to be the best squad in the world.
Maybe, yeah.
I think they've got one of the best squads in the world.
Yeah, I think one of the best. Is fair. I can't think of many squads that I'd go.
I would say the best. I would say the best, but it's one of the best.
Who would you put as the best? Like LB, top of your head. I know you're not really thought about it, but just top of your head. Hello.
Oh man.
Depth wise, I'd say depth wise as a whole squad, we're definitely in the top 2 or 3 for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know, man. You'd have to look at the full team, wouldn't you?
To be honest, like Aaron said, that's only confirmed when things are won. I mean, we could talk about depth and all this and all that, and this looks great on paper, and I write this name down and I write that name down, but you got nothing to your name, pal. You know.
But Dave, we've got records though, Dave.
Yeah,
we've got the records. We've got records. All the fans are saying.
So don't worry, Dave, let me ask you about that. Hang on. Go on. Sorry, we can get to that. I want to ask Dave a question about that. I differentiate what you're saying between legacy and quality, because I wouldn't say that Man United have won a trophy more recently than Arsenal. That doesn't mean our squad's better than theirs. As an example,
no.
So
let me explain myself properly. We're going off right now. Forget the past. We're going off right now. Arsenal have one of the best performing squads at the moment, and it will be confirmed that they have one of the best squads by the end of the season when they win a few trophies. That's what.
David, if you finish,
hang on, Dan. Sorry, Dan, because listen, I'm not saying that's wrong with that, but when it comes to comparing it against Chelsea, do they have to win the Premier League to be considered a better squad than Chelsea?
Well, I would say they're one of the best performing squads at the moment. And yes, they have a better squad than Chelsea at the moment. But if you have to be honest, if Chelsea go ahead and win the Premier League and use their depth in squad, you have to argue they have a better squad.
Well, no, I would.
It's an irrelevant comparison, though. It's an irrelevant comparison.
Yeah, but
Chelsea haven't got one.
Arsenal finished second.
So it's an irrelevant.
So they're the second best team in England. So the second best team in England definitely has one of the best squads in Europe.
But this is my point. I understand.
I think finish second and still have one of the best squads in Europe.
I think they've got to win something. I think.
What's the fruition of that? Nothing.
No, but we're not talking about Premier League champions.
Guys, we're getting lost. Guys, I'm trying to find some commonality here. Just please let me host for a second, right? I get your point. I'm just trying to understand this. I understand they have to win something to go into a different category of successful squads and legends, etc. But when you start going through Europe right now, how many squads would you genuinely say are better?
It's hard because, as I said, I think performing squad at the moment, they have one of the best performing squads in the world. At the moment that they are performing, we would have said the same about. Hold on, let me finish. At the moment, we would have, at the first 5 games of the season, we would have said Liverpool's got one of the best performing depth of squads in the world. We're not talking about them at the moment, are we?
Well, that's because they're saying, but that's because they're underperforming. But my point is, if Arsenal, how many teams right now would, if Arsenal were lining up against them in a game, how many teams, hand on your heart, would you go Arsenal will lose to right now? Like you genuinely think they would lose to?
At least 3 teams at the top of my head.
Well,
PSG, Real Madrid, Bayern Munich.
Real Madrid.
Yeah, we've already 2 of them in the Premier League. One with the champions and one with the
We beat both of them already.
Yeah, all right, mate. I'm just saying, the top of my head, 3 of those could be. But
the point I'm making is anyone can lose to anybody, right? We've seen newly promoted teams beat champions of England. I remember Norwich beating Man City when they got promoted. That didn't mean City's squad wasn't one of the best in the world. The point I'm making is I would look at it this way: how good you know a squad is in terms of its general quality is based on when you make predictions when they play teams. Do you predict them? How often do you predict them to win versus lose? And even when you think they'll lose, how often are you sitting there now going, "Oh, Arsenal could get smashed today"? But I don't think people think that way about Arsenal. Therefore, when you sorry, let me just finish my point. Therefore, when they've got one of the best squads, I agree totally that for that really good squad, that really good performing squad, whichever phrase we want to use, to be looked at as a successful squad or go down as an Arsenal great squad, of course they've got to win major trophies. But in terms of in the world of football right now, there are probably only a couple of clubs who have a better overall squad depth and team than Arsenal.
We've got to do the business.
And they maybe don't even.
No injuries, excuses like we've been hearing against Sunderland.
But Aaron, but nobody disagrees with you. Everybody says Arsenal have got to start delivering trophies. The reason why people like me
you said Real Madrid
deliver these trophies is because they are one of the best teams. If Arsenal were only the 15th best squad in Europe or the 10th best squad in Europe, there wouldn't be an expectation to win the Champions League, surely.
See, Terry, you've just given them another trophy already. That's what you've done now. Hold on. You've just given them another trophy now. What you've just said now, Arsenal, exactly. Look at his trophy now that he's celebrating. We beat Real Madrid last year.
No, it's not celebrating.
Don't forget.
You said Madrid. You said Madrid would beat us, and we beat them 5-1 over 2 legs.
Of course they can beat you.
We had better XG against PSG as well. Don't worry. Don't forget that. We had better XG.
We beat them 5-1 over 2 legs. The only 2 teams. All right. The only 2 teams. Obviously, there's 3 teams. It's Man City, PSG, and Bayern Munich. That is it. And possibly Barcelona, but I'll be back in Arsenal to beat all the rest of those teams, and that's why we're one of the favourites for the Champions League.
But equally, Dan, let me ask you this question, Dan. Can you all see? Do you all think it's possible in the Champions League, for instance, for Arsenal to beat those teams? Do we all think they could beat them?
Of course it is.
There we go. And my view on football is this: when you're just assessing the quality of a squad, not their success, because success and quality are not always the same thing. We've seen good teams not win stuff. We all know they can beat all those sides. You can't not have one of the best squads in the world.
What good team have you seen not win stuff? Sorry to interrupt. What good team have you seen not win stuff? Tell me.
What do you mean?
You just said we've seen good teams not win stuff. I don't know a good team.
I have. The Dutch team.
Tell me.
80, the Dutch team was 82. There's been that Dutch team.
Are you talking about club football?
I'm just saying they should have won. Anyway,
I've not seen a good.
This Arsenal team needs to.
Hold on.
That's a bit fraudulent, Dan. He's talking about club football.
All right, but he said teams.
Tell me a good team. Terry said there's good teams that haven't won stuff. What team is that? Please tell me what team that is.
But that's a really good point, and this is my response to you. I don't think this Arsenal team's done yet.
Yeah, okay. The Arsenal,
go on.
The 2004 didn't win the Champions League. They won the Premier League, but it was still a great team.
They won something. They're a great team. They won something. But
to become great, you have to win things.
Hold on. What's my argument?
There's loads of good teams. There's loads of good teams.
The debate here right now is Arsenal, for me to confirm that they've got one of the best squad depths in Europe, they have to win something. So we've come full circle.
I understand where you're coming from, but